Hey folks, thanks for joining me on DocTalk today. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson. We're going to have a show about something that really sucks, lice. My guest today will be Dr. Tiffany Lee here from the veterinary school at Kansas State University. Going to be a great show. Stick around after these messages.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here with Dr. Tiffany Lee, and we're here at Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. Lee is a veterinarian and has a master's in production medicine and has been out in practice in Colorado. She's a Kansas native. We're always tickled to death to get her here on the show to talk about things that have to do with anything, any species really. And today we're going to talk about lice in livestock, but more specifically cattle.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. Lice in cattle is a problem all across the industry, but it's not a problem that we think about a lot. And so we want to talk a little bit about the causes and the actual organisms that cause, the problems, and then we'll go into some treatment stuff.
Cool. Well, I think that the first thing is that, lice in cattle, we have different types of lice, but mainly two different categories, right?
Yes. There's two different categories, sucking lice and biting lice. There's actually four kinds of sucking lice that prey on cattle. The short-nosed cattle louse, the long-nosed cattle louse. We've got the little blue cattle louse, and then the cattle tail louse, which obviously kind of resides more on that backside at the tail head. And then the biting louse is just the biting cattle louse.
So there are four species of the ones that suck, and then just one species in cattle that bites.
Yes.
And so can you tell me what the difference between sucking lice and biting lice, as far as why I get why we call them that, but I mean, what's really going on there?
Oh, basically the sucking lice actually feed on blood of the cattle. The biting lice feed on more like the actual epidermis rather than the blood of the cattle. Okay,
so the biting lice are going to eat on the skin, and the sucking lice are going to be like a tick, burrow in and actually go for the blood.
Exactly.
So different types. How do I know which one's which?
Basically, the only way to know is to take that organism, put it on a slide, and look at it under a microscope. The sucking louse has these little fangs, teeth, that you can really see under the microscope, and the biting lice do not.
Cool. All right. Well, now, when we know that there are different types, but what about their life cycle? I mean, kind of give me a walkthrough, because I think that's, in general, something that would be important.
Sure. The lice life cycle is actually really interesting. It's a parasite that actually lives its entire life on the host, and therefore it's transmitted by direct contact. They only survive about maybe 2 days off of the host. And one thing about lice is they're very species specific. So if cattle have lice, that's the kind of lice that they're going to get. It's not the human lice. They can't transmit it to us. We can't transmit it to them. And then the same with like dogs. I've had a lot of clients ask, well, my cattle have lice. Is my dog going to get it? They're very host specific. There's different kinds for different species, but only that, if your cattle have lice, your dogs aren't going to get it.
Cool. And as far as thinking about, I mean, it's really important to understand that we don't transfer them from species to species. Sucking lice, biting lice, host specific. When we come back, we're going to discuss more about when to expect problems with lice and how to treat it. You're watching DocTalk. Thanks for joining us.
We do business with Blueville because of the quality of their work. It is excellent quality, and because they make a commitment to their customers.
We enjoy the benefits of hiring a good company to help us maintain this home.
We will always do business with Blueville. We have for many, many years, and there's no reason for us to look for any other service.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. DocTalk, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey there, folks. Dr. Dan from DocTalk here. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Dr. Tiffany Lee, and we're veterinarians here at the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University, where we focus our research on production medicine and animal welfare and pretty much all things cows. And Dr. Lee is a specialist in production medicine who has a master's degree. She's going to finish up a PhD.
Yes, I am.
She's going to be a doctor, and she has been in practice out in eastern Colorado quite a few years. And so we're talking about lice in cattle, and when we left, we talked about their life cycle and some of the different types of lice. But let's talk about some of the predisposing factors. What are some of the things that viewers out there need to be thinking about when it comes to lice prevention, and what are some of the times of the year that we need to be thinking about lice?
Sure. Well, I think most cattle producers at least have at least experienced an infestation of lice. Not necessarily due to neglect or poor management, but those things can contribute to lice infestations. The really bad ones are where we see neglect, poor nutrition, poor grooming. So management is always going to have a part of any kind of problem that we have in cattle, and we can really help to manage having lice by keeping our pens clean, not overcrowding, and things like that. Now, most producers again, have seen lice, and they'll probably tell you that they usually see it in the wintertime, which is true. The lice actually don't survive very well in warm weather. I think down in Florida, they don't even actually teach people about lice. The lice spread a lot in cold weather, because these cattle, they bunch up, if they're cold, they'll bunch, and that lice spreads from direct contact.
Well, and we have the longer hair coats.
Yep.
Whenever we've had trouble with lice in feed yards, it's almost always been a wintertime issue, and as soon as that sun comes out in the spring and we start to get those longer days, our lice problems go away. But this is really a timely topic. This is something that during the January, February time frames is when we start to see the clinical signs of lice infestation in yards or in cow herds or things of that nature.
And those clinical signs that you want to look for are, basically we can see the lice on the cattle. That's a big sign. You can observe the cattle scratching. They're they're going to get really itchy because that skin is dry, it's damaged. We can also see with really bad infestations anemia from those sucking lice, because if there's a really bad infestation, they're gonna eat a lot of blood. And then of course the lice infestations do cause poor production, decreased immunity, stress, and again the anemia.
Yeah, the big thing that you're going to want to watch for: hair loss and itching. When we have it in a feed yard, the cattle are all around the cables. They're rubbing their sides, they're trying to get away from it, and they start to have patchy hair loss of that winter hair coat. So it's important during the winter that we make sure we prevent lice infestation, because then those cattle get chilled and decreased in performance. Don't confuse it with the belly hair being gone. If the cattle would freeze to the ground during the night and go to stand up and pull hair away, but looking for lice, hair coat issues, and scratching your fences down.
And that a lot of times with the lice, you're going to see that hair loss up over the shoulders and the back rather than on that belly, like Dr. Dan said, where they could actually freeze and pull the hair off.
Absolutely. More after these messages.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vetmedica, Inc.
This is Shane Terrell with Production Animal Consultation with your BQA Tip of the Day. Today we'd like to talk about flooring on the processing facilities on the lead-up alley and prior to the gate or prior to the entry into the tub or the box, in the box where those animals have a higher likelihood of slipping, causing injuries or causing injury themselves or causing foot injuries. A good option is interwoven tire mats. These things maintain a similar consistency through different types of weather and in types of moisture conditions. Other options include some type of organic substrate, sand, straw, or deep bedded corn husks. We want to make sure if we use these, we create a deep bedded type of situation so we don't create an abrasive surface with that organic matter.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Broadband has become as important to us as highways. That is why DocTalk is teaming up with NTCA, the Rural Broadband Association, and rural broadband companies like Blue Valley Telecommunications in fighting for quality broadband access through the program Smart Rural Communities.
I don't think we have any idea what's coming in the future. I couldn't have imagined 5 years ago what we're doing today. So in 2 years, I would guess there's things we can't imagine that we're going to be doing.
To learn more, visit ntca.org/smart or bluevalley.net.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source, together we grow.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
DocTalk, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here with Dr. Tiffany Lee, and we are faculty here at Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine, where we work with beef production medicine, and we work out in the field on many different cases of animal welfare, animal health, medicine, and surgery cases on a day-to-day basis. And we're talking about lice today. And as we left, we're talking about wintertime being the prevalent time for lice issues, whether it's feedlot, cow herds, things of that nature. So in a feedlot situation, we're starting to look at treatment or prevention of lice on incoming cattle or reimplant cattle starting in November in the upper Midwest. And then we will continue to treat cattle as they come in for those types of problems until we start to have spring, until we start to see the thaw, we start to see increased day length. That's when we can discontinue. No need to treat for lice or prevention of lice in the summer, but what are some of the things that we're going to use?
Basically, you've got kind of two areas where you can go as far as treatments. You can go like the ivermectin treatments, more of the actual antiparasiticides, or you can go kind of an insecticide route. With the ivermectins, doramectin, things like that, you have injectable and you have a topical or a pour-on. One thing that we do need to remember when you're picking between these products is the pour-on, or I'm sorry, the injectable is only going to get your sucking lice. It's not going to get your biting lice because, those biting lice don't actually get that drug in them. So that's one thing that you really need to make sure that you work with your veterinarian on determining which product is best to use.
And when you use the pour-on, you'll get both.
Yes,
the biting and the sucking. And that's one of the things that we used to talk with our producers, specifically in feed yards, is that if you're going to use the injectable year-round, then you have to bring in one of the insecticides that we're fixing to talk about. But if you want to just use one product, that when we get to the fall, we'll switch from an injectable to a pour-on, so that we're also having proper lice coverage, and then we'll do that till the spring, and we can switch back to the injectable.
Exactly. Yep. And like Dr. Dan said, if you don't want to switch from your injectable, you can use an insecticide such as a pyrethrin to go ahead and get those biting lice as well.
Yep. Saber, Silence. There are generic pyrethrins. The big thing that Dr. Tiffany and I always agree on is that always work with your local veterinarian. They know the products that work in your area. They know if you have biting lice or sucking lice. They've been in many herds, and your veterinarian can't carry it from herd to herd because they're specific.
That is true.
But if he starts itching,
do something about it. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, if you do have a infection of lice and you treat it, you want to make sure that you don't mix those cattle with uninfected cattle because those lice can actually survive for up to about a week. So just make sure that you're not mixing infected cattle and non-infected cattle.
Because they'll jump off this one and onto that one, and we have a problem over there.
Exactly.
So anyway, great information. Remember, injectable does not get the biting lice. If you pour-on gets both. If you're going to use injectable, use an insecticide like Saber, Silence. More on lice after these messages.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it, and it worked. And I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. A high-energy, drought-tolerant crop, sorghum only requires 6 inches of water to produce the first bushel. And with its wide uses and easy adaptation, sorghum proves to be a truly indispensable crop. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Healthy cows start with the new hired hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new hired hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new hired hand makes healthy cows easy.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thomson here with Dr. Tiffany Lee. We're at Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine, where we serve on the faculty and teach beef production medicine and also provide service to producers and veterinarians across the United States. And you know, we have had a good discussion about lice, and lice is never really on the top of your brain until you have it. And when you see lice in a feedlot or a cow herd, it's going to be pretty obvious. You won't notice the first 2 or 3 cows that start scratching, but when there's 10 of them lined up along the fence, and I mean they will rub your fences down.
Yeah, they'll pull them down.
When they have the lice issues. It's something that you need to be concerned of in different parts of the country and make sure that we're using our preventatives. 2 types of lice, right?
Yep, sucking lice and biting lice. And again, the sucking lice actually feed on the blood of cattle, and those are the ones that you worry about with anemia and things like that.
And we're going to make sure that you work with your veterinarian on this, but we aren't going to be able to get those biting lice with the injectables.
That is correct.
And we'll have a lot of people that'll talk about, you know, do I use an injectable, do I use a pour-on, do I use an insecticide? And again, it doesn't matter. Work with your veterinarian. They'll know what's going on in your area. But some of the bigger things in the wintertime are, you know, are we housing these animals indoors? Do we have proper pen management? And I think that's something that in the wintertime, you know, mud accumulation, it's just one more thing to take off the stress or the stress level of those cattle to make sure we treat them for lice.
Mm-hmm. And I think as far as pen conditions go, we have to think about, you know, these pens, you get muddy areas, and actually our pen space decreases. And you know that depending on the pen size can cause overcrowding and things like that. So you need to think about not just, you know, the whole pen area, but the living space in those pens.
Yep. And the other thing is make sure we have bunk pads clean. Mm-hmm. If you do have cattle, one of the things that we've done for emergency treatment of lice with feeder cattle is we've actually taken the insecticide, instead of running the cattle back through the processing barn, is actually you can put the backpack saber type or silence type packs on your back, feed the cattle, and then ride behind them and treat them for lice while they're up at the bunk. Mm-hmm. Some of those types of issues that we've done. If you do have a lice issue, you don't need to bring them back into the processing barn just for lice. A lot of times we'll just implement that treatment for lice at the time of reimplant, which will be about 100 days prior to slaughter. So in that January, February time frame, instead of just treating them for lice, go ahead and bring them in for reimplant, and then you're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly. Decrease stress too, right?
Yep,
yeah.
Decrease stress.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks a million for watching Doc Talk. We always appreciate you coming and watching the show and spending some time with us. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian, and if you want to know more about what we do here on Doc Talk, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Send your emails and your questions. You've been watching Doc Talk. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agamинkansas.com.